It's 5 p.m.
All right, quiet on the set.
Polkas After Dark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start the party. Broadcasting around the world. This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now. It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your host, Rob.
Hey, well, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is. It's all good, guys, because you're here with us and we're here with you on Polkas After Dark, or should I say I'm here with you. Hey, Jerry's going to be leaving Mom's in just about, she may have already left. And going to be heading to the airport, and then she is going to be here sometime after midnight. And daughter Justina is going to swing by and pick her up, and we thank her so much. Hey, folks, we want to welcome you here. We're excited today because today we are going to get a chance to talk live with Steve Rodgers, originally from Wisconsin, now hanging his hat in Florida. So again, we thank him for taking the time to do that. We thank you guys for taking the time to join us here. Polkas After Dark Facebook Live, and also don't forget our YouTube channel. If you do swing by YouTube, don't forget to click the subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner if you're not already subscribed. We have had quite a few coming in, and we thank them ever so much. Hey, we're going to say hello to, we got a nice crowd in here so far. Mr. Mark Komar has joined us. It looks like Andy Pilecki and Marion, they are here, I should say. Hope David is doing well. Mike Reel is tuned in from Poland. Holy smokes. Hey, it looks like you guys are having a great time over there, too. We're going to also say hi to one of our favorites, Michelle Szymanski. She's here. Also, Musical Mark Swoger and Maria A. Blasting. And let's see, Kurchaska is here. Also, Brother Tommy Hoke, Uniontown, PA. Niagara Falls is checking in with Linda P., Linda Petrozeski. Chris Curtis is here as well, and his lovely missus. Also, April Lynn. Hey, Cheryl Rodgers is here. Cheryl, you're probably just as excited as we are. And let's also say hello to Marianne Gideon and also Jan Dressler. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in so far. And we've got more people coming in, so we love to see that. Hey, here's a tune by Rodgers and Friends. Here's one called That Feeling Polka.
What does this mean to me? It means that life ain't easy for the poor kid on the street. That being free and healthy can be sometimes pretty neat. That justice isn't always what it should be meant to be. Means we do love and hold our strength to help the blind to see. We're talking about that feeling, the feeling that's long past due. We need to live together. One world for me and you.
Hey, getting things off and running for the Sunday afternoon edition, afternoon, evening, whichever you folks prefer. Hey, that's Rodgers and Friends with a little bit of that feeling polka. Hey, let's keep the polkas going right now. Here's Polka Town Sound featuring Mr. Rodgers on the accordion. Here is one called Roseanne. Hey, good afternoon to Jan Dressler. Looks like Ed Gavran is here. Also, Georgianne Havey, welcome to Polkas After Dark. And also, Alice Fischler up there in Canada. Oh gosh, we got more people piling in here. Mr. Chuck Troiani, good afternoon to you, sir. Yeah, doing it up here on a Sunday afternoon. Some great polka music. That's a little bit of Polka Town sound. Hey, let's bring up the big guy, Mr. Marion Lush. Here's one called Yes Sir, She's My Baby. Hey, it looks like Wiggs and Kathy are joining us from Michigan. Also, Jennifer Kazmarchek, welcome to you.
Yes, sir, she's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Why don't you marry me? We'd live so happily. Why don't you marry me? We'd live so happily. Please, please, please say maybe. Please, please, please say maybe. You know I love you so. I'll never let you go. You know I love you so. I'll never let you go. Yes, sir, she's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Why don't you marry me? We'd live so happily. Why don't you marry me? We'd live so happily. Please, please, please say maybe, please, please, please say maybe. You know I love you so, I'll never let you go. You know I love you so, I'll never let you go.
An oldie but a goodie, that's one called Yes Sir, She's My Baby, and I'm waiting for my baby to get home later on tonight, actually probably early in the morning. I hope she wakes me up, I'm sure she will. If not, I'll be keeping her awake with my snoring, that's for certain. Hey, we also want to say hi to Ann Novak-Samara. She is joining us today. Also, Anya Asula Gibbon. Hey, I don't know if you were on last evening. We had Rick Pianowski from the Buffalo Touch. He was here entertaining everybody. He was my guest co-host yesterday in Jerry's absence. What a great time we had. We didn't get knocked off the broadcast, so that's kind of cool. So everything was all right on that. Everything was on the up and up. Hey, and speaking on the up and up, we're going to send a happy birthday song out to Maria Blasting. Maria is going to have a birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday to you, Maria. Here's one by Change of Pace, one called Promises. Hey, hello to Poland down there. Hey, we've got John Seaplick. He's chimed in here today. Thanks so much. You guys look like you're all having a great time partying and eating some fantastic meals, and we can't wait to get a chance to talk to you guys about it.
It was that night in June that we first met, dear, and we both agreed we had found something new. We promised one another of our true love, but promises like hearts are broken too. My empty arms are waiting for your love, dear. Please come back, I love no one but you. I miss your loving smile and warm embraces, but promises like hearts are broken too. Cycles endless in my mind. I pray that you will never find another, for my love you'll have until the end of time. Well, the years of loneliness have come and gone now, and the scar within my heart is finally healed. It doesn't mean that I can live without you, 'cause hearts like promises are broken too.
A little bit of promises there for you on a Sunday afternoon. Polkas After Dark. Happy birthday to you once again, Maria A. Blasting tomorrow. And we're going to also say hello to Let's see, Sharon and Tom Golden, they're over there in the YouTube chat room, so howdy to you folks. We're also going to say hello to Bill and Sharon. Thank you so much, another Sharon. Thank you guys so much for tuning us in here, Polkas After Dark. And let's see here, John says it's like 11 p.m. here in Poland. That's right, they're about 6 hours ahead of us, if I'm not mistaken. He'll be up for a little more for sure. Well, I guarantee you guys are going to be up because you're listening to some great music right here on Polkas After Dark, our broadcastlink.com, also live on YouTube. And we also want to make mention that in just a few minutes, I'm going to be placing a call to Mr. Steve Rodgers because he's going to join me for a interview. And gosh, he's got a lot to tell you about his musical career. And it didn't end when he moved to Florida because now he's got a whole different platform that he's working from. And we can't wait for him to tell you all about that. Hey, speaking of Steve Rodgers, how about a tune by Ed Blazonczyk and the Versatones? Here's one called My Misery. Hey, good afternoon to Mr. Ed Moulars. Welcome.
When I come home from work, the little lady greets me there. She don't ask about my day, 'cause she don't really care. She's cooked another supper, it looks burnt and smells like feet. In our house we don't say our prayers till after we eat. And she gets uglier and meaner with each passing day. She growls and barks and snaps at me, it's just her loving way. I sleep with one eye open, but I love her, don't you see? I just can't put that woman out of my misery. Breaks my heart, I almost shed a tear. I'm so miserable without her that it's almost like she's here. She swears I'm gonna miss her, I'll be sorry soon one day. How can I start to miss her when she just won't go away? And she gets uglier and meaner with each passing day. She growls and barks and snaps at me, it's just her loving way. I sleep with one eye open, but I love her, don't you see? I just can't put that woman out of my misery.
Hi everybody, this is Ryan Joseph from Four Strings Attached Tours. Welcome to Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. This tour has been 15 years in the making. We're just so excited to have our friends and family in polka music here.
I've got this rhythm starting in my feet, and it starts each time I hear a polka beat. I feel just like a king, I wanna dance and sing, so everyone can share the fun with me. And suddenly I find my radio is dialing into every polka show. I'll chase away the blues, put on my polka shoes, and dance to all my favorite polka tunes. Another polka rocking weekend, a Nashville polka weekend. We can party till the weekend's through. That's the craze, it's the new trend. A Nashville polka weekend, a polka
As a professional musician and educator who moved to Nashville 15 years ago, I've seen so many cookie cutter experiences, so I saw a need for authenticity. The goal of Four Strings Attached Tours is to give you an authentic experience in Nashville that you will have for the rest of your life.
And polka fever takes you by surprise. Move over rock and roll, polka fever's gonna grow.
We will show you what it's like to be a professional musician working in Nashville. And we will even include surprises and once-in-a-lifetime experiences that you cannot get anywhere else.
And my friend, I say to you, with this statement very true, a weekend's not complete till you go to another polka rockin' weekend, a Nashville polka weekend. We can party till the weekend's through. That's the craze, it's the new trend, a Nashville polka weekend.
We look forward to seeing you soon and welcoming you to our family here in Nashville.
It's the craze, it's the new trend, a Nashville polka weekend, a polka weekend just for me and you.
And if you don't believe me, you can ask some of the people that were there the first time around. We're talking about Kathy and Wiggs. They, of course, were down there. Also, the Urbanchik family was down there, Kayla, Marie, and also Brian and Kathy. We saw her over there. And also, let's see here. We're going to say hello to Mr. C.J. Jadosh. He's here this afternoon. Also, it looks like Don Zastavne Romanzo. She is back once again, a glutton for punishment, as we always tend to say. And it looks like Anne-Marie Gifford is here. So, Anne-Marie, welcome to Polkas After Dark. I don't recall if you've stopped in or not, but we're glad that you did. Hey, we're also available on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to sign on and click the subscribe button over there. But we're going to be talking live with Mr. Steve Rodgers very, very shortly. Right now, hey, let's do another one by Eddie Blazonczyk and the Versatones featuring Steve on the box.
Oh, how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you, hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. When I see that you're beside me, the whole world disappears. I wanna be your one and only, wanna share your hopes and fears, cares and laughs and all your dreams, everything that's in between. If you let me be the one, oh how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you, hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. I saw you, that we would always be. And it's true that I still love you, with everything you hear and see. Feeling, oh, how could you leave? I'm not a fool, but I believe fairy tales happen sometime. Oh, how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you, and hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me. Nothing to fear. Oh, how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you and hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. Oh, how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you, hug you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, leave me with nothing to fear. Oh, how I miss you. Wish I could kiss you, hold you. It would be bliss to look in your eyes, see, they mesmerize me, even with nothing to fear.
Hey, there we go. Another tune by Eddie Blazonczyk's Versatones, one called Oh, How I Miss You. Hey, we've got one more song that we're going to be playing. We do have Steve on the phone line, but we're not going to bring him up just yet as we play one more song here. Here's Roger Majewski. Here's a tune called Lay Down Sally. You're tuned to Polkas After Dark, and we do appreciate it, folks.
There is nothing that is wrong wanting you to stay here with me. I know you've got somewhere to go. Won't you make yourself at home and stay with me? And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. The sun ain't nearly on the rise, but we still got the moon and stars above. Underneath the velvet skies, love is all that matters. Won't you stay with me? And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. See the morning light coloring your face so dreamily. So don't you go and say goodbye. You can lay your worries down and stay with me. And don't you ever leave. Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you. Lay down, Sally, and rest you in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to? Lay down, Sally, no need to leave so soon. I've been trying all night long just to talk to you.
Hey, that's a tune by Roger Majewski and the guys out of Wisconsin. Hey, one called Lay Down Sally. And you know what? We are extremely fortunate not only to have on the live line with us this afternoon from Florida. I just briefly chatted with him before we're bringing him on, and he said that he's in the 80s down there, and I'm talking the temperature, not his age. Which we hate him up here in Buffalo because we haven't hit that as of yet, and I don't know if we will. Hey, but Steve, you're live. Can you hear me?
I can, Robin. How's everything going?
Oh, it is beautiful, Steve, and thank you ever so much for taking the time to join us today on Polkas After Dark for an interview. You should really feel honored because you have people, listen to this, you have people from Poland listening in right now. We've got Mike Reel and Darlene and the gang from Massachusetts. A whole bunch of them took a trip over there. We've got the Kravich girls. Let's see here. John Cieplik is here from Polish Newcastle Radio. So, man,
yep, I saw him.
You got to feel honored, that's for sure. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork just to catch this interview. Hey,
well, we'll have a real good time, Robin. How's that?
that is perfect. You know, Steve, I admitted to a lot of my friends, and I'm going to publicly admit that you and I really never had a chance to sit down and converse about anything because it was always, we saw each other leaving the stage or getting up on the stage and, hi, how you doing? You guys sound great. All that good stuff. But it's going to be so fun getting a chance to pick your brain and kind of find out where your musical talent started. First of all, I'm going to ask you, like I always do, start out all of the interviews. What age were you, Steve, when you heard your first polka song?
Probably from the date of birth,
Okay.
because my dad had a band, Dick Rodgers Orchestra, up in Pulaski, Wisconsin. So that right away from the get-go. And I actually, he had a TV show at the time, and my first actual experience, pretend performance, was at the age of 3, where I used to go along for the TV shows that were every Sunday at noon at that time, and sit on his concertina case right in front of the band with my toy plastic trumpet.
Oh, wow. Holy smokes, that's amazing. Hey, so how long did Dad have the band? Is the band still in existence?
No, the band is long gone. Dad actually had the band from about right around 1946, 47. There was actually a bunch of high school seniors at Pulaski High School that
Really?
they started a band. And he went till about 1978. He just there were a couple just getting, many years of being a band leader. There were a couple unfortunate things that we had where we lost some really great musicians and friends that were with the band a long time that had died. And he continued to he sold the band, and he continued to perform many of the times with them. And he never actually retired. He kept playing. He'd throw a band together, get some people together and play and
nice.
things like that. So, so I went right to the end as far as with my participation in the 78.
Now that's
being
beautiful.
with Dad's band. Yeah.
What was the first instrument that you learned? You said you were mimicking the trumpet, the plastic trumpet, but
Yep.
what was the first instrument that you actually picked up and learned how to play?
My first instrument would have been piano. I started lessons in 3rd grade for piano, and I did 6 years on that. 5th grade, I started on trumpet in grade school band, and kept going with that. And there were other instruments I added along the way that I play. But my first main situation was keyboards, and then trumpet, later sax and clarinet. And I didn't do accordion until about my mid to late 20s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was pretty well out of necessity, because at the time I had a band called Rodgers and Friends.
Okay.
And my brother Tom was in the band playing concertina, and he decided to leave just with work obligations and things like that. And it already back then, in the early 80s, it was just getting tough to find, box player, accordion player, stuff like that. So I had a really good friend that I went to college with that was a really good trumpet player, so I brought him in, and then I switched over to accordion.
Well, you mentioned piano, keyboards, you mentioned accordion, you mentioned trumpet. One thing you didn't mention that I'm seeing a lot of is you playing guitar.
Yeah, I play regular rhythm guitar. I'm not much of a lead player at all. And actually, in my first rock band, which would have been like in 7th or 8th grade, I actually played bass guitar.
Okay.
So that, in the rock band days, that was my actually first instrument that I played.
Well, Steve, I want to stay focused on polkas for now, but
Yep.
I have a funny feeling that you're doing a lot of different stuff down in Florida, which I want to touch on as well. Hey, so let's go ahead and move into who was the first band that you performed in after you were working a little bit with Dad?
Well, it would have been my dad's band. I actually ended up starting steady with him. His long time, and his book was, at least that part of it was written a little differently, but I took over for a gentleman, Warren Johnson, that played second trumpet and alto sax.
Okay.
So I basically came in the band. My first steady gig with my dad was actually at age 12, where I was a steady player.
Oh, that's huge.
And then I actually had to learn alto because of the book. So I was very fortunate to have a great mentor in Dwayne Westy Westfall that was in my dad's band as a lead sax and clarinet player. And he taught me how to play alto. So
Oh,
we
my
went from
gosh.
there.
That is amazing. Hey, Steve, do you have, tell us a little bit about the music that you have played throughout the years, who was the next band that you went with?
Polka-wise, after my dad's band would have been Alvin Stachinski.
Oh, geez.
That would have been around, probably about 1977, 78.
Okay.
In that era. And I went with him for a couple of years. Definitely had a good time and all that. But then my brother and I and a couple other guys wanted to try things out on our own. So that's when we started Rodgers and Friends, probably about 1977, 1978.
Gotcha.
And and that went on to about 1984, I believe.
All right. And then where did your music career take you after that?
Actually, I was the first accordion player for Polka Town Sound. Back, they were actually just a 5-piece.
Okay.
And I had recorded the first 45. I did the piano work on it. And they just recorded it basically as a 5-piece. And then they knew I was folding up the band. I loved the guys in my band and all that, but I was done being, I just had ended up where I didn't want to be a band leader anymore. And that's not negative. It's just all the stuff beyond playing, all the contracts and money and things like that. So I just kind of got burnt out, and then so they approached me about playing with them, and then I went and played with them for about 3-4 years or so, and that was I had a great time. That was a very young band.
Wow.
And it was just funny. I think I was in my mid to late 20s at the time, but all the other guys, they were like 17, 19 years old, things like that. But that was I had a great time with that band.
Now, who were the other players with Polka Town Sound, the original band?
The original band would have been Dave and Bruce Fritz, Gene Hackett, Dennis Hillock, and then Jim Miller on drums.
On drums, yeah.
Yep.
Jim always tunes us in. I'm surprised he's not on here just yet, because I know he loves to tune into Polkas After Dark on Facebook in the evenings on Saturday. He was with us. Okay, so then after Polka Town Sound, where did you end up?
I got to think this through. Then I ended up, I actually had pretty well quit steady playing for about 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, at the time I had 4 kids. I had taken over. My dad had an insurance agency, and I had bought that out. And so, just obligations. I love playing in that, but financially and obligations, and anybody that has kids, you end up going to whatever concerts and softball games and basketball games and whatever type of thing. So then I came back, and actually a band initially called Pit Crew, and then we got changed to AKA. Did that for a few years. Loved that. That was a very talented group of guys, but also kind of ended up being very busy individuals. So it just ended up where we were turning down more gigs than that we were playing. So it just got a little frustrating, and that ended up just kind of folding away. But that was a great time also. And then after that, I ended up playing with Roger Majeski.
Oh yeah.
Out of Central Wisconsin, and same thing. Had a great time doing that for many years. And after that, went to Eddie Blazonczyk's Versatones.
Right.
Did that for 6.5 years, and then JR decided to shut her down at the end of 2011.
Yeah.
So right after that, I went with Polish Connection out of Central Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Did that for a few years, and then I took a little bit of break. Loved working with him, everything. I should have probably took a break right after the Versatones, because love working with that guy and working with a lot of my idols. It was pretty cool being on stage, like with a Jim Zerzaga, Nigel, and Bobby Zima, etc. Type of thing. So Eddie Jr. and the whole thing. But it was a lot of traveling, and I was still living around Pulaski, Wisconsin, which is still just a little bit north of Green Bay. So either Thursday night or Friday, I'm driving down to Chicago, south side of Chicago, to meet the guys and meet the bus, and then from there, wherever we end up going, get home normally, either flying home or getting back late on Sunday, driving home, either getting home really late Sunday night. Sometimes I get home Monday morning. Cheryl, say hi to her as she's going to work, and I'd shower and then go into the office. So that got pretty hectic. Love doing it. now being older, I don't know if I could hack that anymore, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I sure
Um,
do. I kind of departed from the polka music field
Yep.
playing about 6 years ago.
Yep.
And, I don't miss the traveling. I don't miss, hotels and all of that stuff. I got to be honest with you. The thing I do miss, and you'll probably admit this same thing, when you're at a festival or a convention and you hear the bands on stage and you just get that one band that locks in, all the guys
Right.
are just on the money. That's
Yep.
when you really miss it and say, "Boy, I wish I was doing that again."
Oh, totally agree.
Yeah.
You never lose that feeling.
Oh yeah, that's
I
absolutely right.
totally agree with you. Yep.
Hey,
And I always enjoyed it. And it's funny how you talked about where we never really got to talk much other than saying hi and, how's it going, things like that. But I remember watching you, especially like Seven Springs and some of the different gigs and Frankenmuth, that kind of situation. Oh, always loved, especially, I mean, you're a great talent at so many instruments, but I loved your drumming.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Steve. That means a lot coming from you. It really does.
Yeah.
Hey, and also I mentioned Jim Miller, and he appears out of nowhere on Facebook.
Okay.
So he's
Yep.
here, so you can send a shout out to him. And also, Tyler Jansen. We've got some of the Jansen
Oh,
family out there
we
in
go.
Frankenmuth.
Yep.
So you
All
just
the
dropped
Jansen
them.
family, yep, Mark and Tyler's son, and yep, say hi to them.
Yep, most definitely.
Coming up in August.
Oh, are you really? Good.
No, I'm sorry. I meant his festival is coming up in
Oh,
August.
okay. I thought you were coming up in August.
No, not that I know of right now. I don't know.
Well, he just sent me a private message. He's going to send you. He was going to send you plane tickets, but he's going to send the corporate jet to pick you and
great.
Cheryl up.
That
Yeah,
sounds good.
And
I would really
yeah,
appreciate
Tyler
that.
just sent me a private message now, and you just tell him, him and Cheryl to pack their bags. You're sending the private jet
All right.
from the Summer
All right.
Music Fest. So that'll
There you
be
go.
kind of nice to pick you up and get you hightailing out there.
That
Hey,
sounds good.
what type of music do you listen to when you're not listening to polkas, Steve?
If I'm not listening to polkas, it mainly would be rock, classic rock from probably 60s through the 80s mainly. I also enjoy it, and because some of it I have to perform is 90s on up to the 2010s.
Yeah.
Listening to country. I never used to be much of a country fan, but as I got older, there's a lot of things I enjoyed about country. A lot of newer country I enjoy because, to be honest with you, it reminds me somewhat of a mix in country and then 70s rock. It's kind of not the true classic country
Sure.
most of the time anymore. But yeah, no, my list on my iTunes, people are kind of astonished. I think the only thing I don't have when you listen to me play music is rap and opera.
Yeah.
And everything else is on there.
Yeah,
Including polkas.
rap is definitely not part of my genre that I listen to either.
No,
And
and opera, I really appreciate the talent involved
Yes.
in it, but it's just not for me.
I was gonna say the same thing exactly. Hey, so let's also hit on a couple of places. Do you have a favorite place that you performed, past or present?
Oh, there's a lot of places we perform down here that I just love playing. They have what's called communities down here. Instead of like up north, we call them subdivisions, but down here they're communities, and mainly pretty well privately owned, where roads and street lamps and things like that are all owned by the community, and then they run entertainment. So a lot of those, without naming any specific.
Sure.
Polka-wise, oh man. There's a lot of great festivals. Frankenmuth, Plasky Polka Days, obviously for me. That was always still is a great one and fun, which aren't around as much anymore. But I used to always love Colonial Ballroom over in Wausau.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a
That's
great
bringing
thing.
it
My
back.
dad back then, we played a lot of ballrooms. Bellray in Minnesota. Rochester, oh man, a whole bunch. Loved the old, got to play it 3 different times, Dick Pillar when he was running Polkabration,
Oh yeah.
when it used to be 10 days. That used to be fantastic. And one time, actually, my dad and Alvin got booked for the same festival, so we chartered a plane out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and that was a hoot.
Oh,
Here you
man.
got this private plane, and my dad and Alvin are walking up and down the aisle with bottle of Aristocrat brandy or some other liquor and whatever. You wouldn't see that on the airlines nowadays.
Oh, no. No, that's
But
for sure.
where they're bring on your private stash, and pass it around. That was always fun. Yeah, and then even with Wally and Rich keeping that festival going in New London, had a great time there when I was with Polish Connection. We got to play it
Yeah, I
a
hear
couple
you.
of times. So Frank was again. I think I mentioned that. There's been some really good ones.
Now, you are originally from Wisconsin, correct?
Correct. My hometown is Pulaski, Wisconsin.
All right.
Right now, we do have a Wisconsin house up there at home yet, and that's about 6 miles northeast of Pulaski.
Oh, nice.
Pulaski is about 15 miles from Green Bay. So, yeah, I didn't get far from home except now being in Florida.
Yeah. And how
And
long
I
have you
just-
been down in Florida?
We actually used to come down here for vacations, and then we started doing seasonal. Oh, man, now it'd be probably about 5 years or so.
Okay.
And back in April of 2020, we ended up buying a home down here.
Oh, beautiful.
So now, last couple of years, I've been pretty well full time down here.
Now, I got to ask you, are you still in the insurance business?
No, I sold the business at the end of 2012, and it was a business in Pulaski that bought it, and they had me work for 3 more years. I was part of the whole purchase.
Okay.
And then at the end of 2015, both Cheryl and I retired.
Oh, good for you guys.
So, yeah, and whatever, living the dream ever since.
Yeah.
I always tell people the insurance. I enjoyed the insurance business. It definitely paid the bills. Unlike, unfortunately, being a weekend warrior, playing wise, music wise, and but now I get best of both worlds. Officially retired, but still doing my passion, which is music.
Good for you. Now, let's go ahead and fast forward to Florida. Tell us a little bit about the guys, and I think I saw a gal or two in the group that you're performing with in Florida. Am I correct?
Correct. We have one gal, and she's actually the leader, the boss of the band.
Okay.
Marsha Jameson. It's a great group. We have so many laughs. You know how it is. You want to play great music, but you also want to have a band that gets along. And we give each other a lot of BS. There's some great guys. There's our guitar player who also is fantastic at singing and keyboards, Kevin Kenworthy. Actually did a lot of big things up in Nashville for a lot of years.
Wow.
He used to do the touring band for Loretta Lynn.
Oh, geez.
Down here, it's very interesting because it ends up being, like where a lot of musicians come to retire or semi-retire.
Yes.
So you get I've met, a couple of the guys in the band are from New Jersey originally. One again from Nashville area. Marsha's originally from Ohio. I'm originally from Wisconsin, but that's the way it is down here.
Yeah.
So you have this fantastic pool of really, I've gotten to hear some really great musicians down here or work with them. So it's definitely a pleasure. I wish there were, be honest with you, I wish there were a little bit more polka around. On the east side, I know, they have like the polka thing in either January or February, or the cruises, the Brews cruise and all that.
Uh-huh.
I'm lucky enough that great drummer and a good friend from the Tampa area, Ray Zelest, still puts together some polka gigs, especially in October, because it's, Oktoberfest type of stuff.
Sure.
So I actually go up there and do some stuff on accordion. It is fun for me because I get to do polka again.
Oh, that's great. That really is. Tell us about some of the musicians that you've shared this stage with.
Oh.
Other than the guys in the band. You've filled in with different bands throughout the course of your career.
Yeah. Oh, man, there's so many, Robin, through the years. I even hate to start because of slighting somebody. My first probably big thrill was at the time, probably about 2000. Let's see, Eddie, probably about 2001, 2002. Senior was still around yet. and I got to help out a couple different times of him, and that obviously for me was a big thrill.
Oh yeah.
To do on it. It's just fun. There's just a lot of great guys out there to work with and jam with, and like doing the old jams up in the rooms at Seven Springs when it used to be where you pretty well they took over the whole place, and you could get away with doing that. Or the IPA when it used to be in Milwaukee. Love that festival.
Yeah.
On it. Whatever. It's just a lot of great guys.
Did you have a favorite song that you liked to play or sing when you're on stage? Now, this could have been either in the polka world or what you're doing now. Do you have a favorite song that you like to play or sing?
No. I enjoy a lot of different songs to play, so I wouldn't really name any one. And to be honest with you, and you might feel the same way, after a while, if you've done it maybe 100 times, you kind of get to where this is a great song, but I'm kind of sick of playing it.
Oh, really, Zosha?
Yeah,
okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's still a great tune, and I appreciate that we, down here, like say Mustang Sally, we always laugh about, or Brown Eyed Girl, or something like that. It's like, oh, here we go again. But the crowd loves it, and that's what I look for. Ego is a long time ago pretty well gone. I like seeing if the crowd is having a great time, which to me makes the band a success, and you get booked more, etc. That's what it's about. But yeah, I always laugh. The guys in the band know this because I always say this. People come up and ask, like in the genre I'm doing now, they do Freebird. I said, if you give me $100 tip, and that's just for me, I'll play it. I'm being, sarcastic
facetious.
about it.
I know.
Yeah, but it's stuff like that. But yeah, being with the Verstones, I mean, there were certain songs, obviously, that they had to play all the time, like you had with the Dynatones.
Yeah.
That kind of situation. With Alvin, he had certain songs that we always had to play.
Oh, sure.
Type of thing.
And that's the thing, when you're playing with a big name like that, it's their songs. I mean, Scrubby, I joke a lot about Zosha. Probably played that about over 400 times during my career, if not more. But you're right. Everybody would come up and request it, and sometimes we'd play it twice a night, believe it or not. And I know you've been in the same shoes with a song or two that you guys have played throughout the years.
Right. And then initially, at least back in the day, when you had an album come out, like when I helped out Senior or even Junior, when you had stuff come out, I'm sure maybe you guys are the same way. Well, we'd play the songs, and then later on the night, like the last set or whatever, play some of them again just because you wanted to push the heck out of trying to sell the album back then, the vinyl.
Yeah, you got it. What's funny is I've always noticed this. You've got an album with 12 or 14 great songs, but you really only play about half a dozen of those songs. A lot of the rest of the songs were buried. And I got to tell you something about Junior Blazonczyk. Junior, when he kind of got hot and heavy, he was leading Eddie down the path of, hey, let's play some of the old stuff that people will remember. Because Your Blue Eyes Blink,
Yes.
And I'm just taking that just off the top of my head. And what a creative, thoughtful mind Junior had to do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, I really thoroughly enjoyed working with him. And one thing I'll have to say, to me, he doesn't get enough credit for his actual box playing, his concertina playing. It was he taught me so much as far as he was very strict with me on timing. When I had to match with him or have a solo or a match with him with the harmony, or even bellow shaking and things like that, and he would always push me to do better. So it was really a big pleasure to work with him.
Man.
And Jimmy Zerzaga, same thing. I mean, what can I say there? Another man I miss dearly. It's unfortunately for me, but my dad had a horn player, Merlin Politsky, that was there like forever. He was like the rock of the band. Nothing fancy, but he's the first horn player, steady as a rock. And when he died, like in the early 70s, I think, he was only 40-some years old, 43 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's it. To this day, I have some holes in my heart. Merlin's one of them. Jim Zerzaga's another.
Oh yeah. And Jimmy Zerzaga was like, I watched him perform a lot of places, and I would stand there and watch him and Weasel. And, you know, Eddie always had top-notch musicians, no
Yes.
matter where he played, no matter who he had to get in, even as a fill-in. But when Zherzhega and Weasel were playing, I mean, to me personally, and I've got a lot of respect for Kevin Adams and all the other guys that had played
Oh yeah,
with
or like
Weasel.
the
but
'77 band, you know, with
Yeah.
Mike and Lenny. Oh,
yeah,
wow,
exactly. Mike and Lenny, and even before that with Lenny and Chocolate. I mean, gosh,
Yeah.
you know, we can go way, way back. But, I mean, I can still see on the stage Zherzhega and Weasel. And a lot of times, Zherzhega would play a little bit through the vocals. And, you know, and then he'd be like solid coming in on the horn parts. And I'm like,
Yep.
does this guy have a tube inserted somewhere in the back that he's
Yep.
just got air constantly flowing through it? He was just amazing. But that was my favorite horn section.
Most of his career until he had a couple, you know, health issues with
Right.
the neck and the throat and all that.
Yep.
But he made it look so effortless.
Oh,
I always loved because his wife always said he looked like he had a broomstick shoved up his behind. You know, he always stood so straight.
yes,
and
he did.
Didn't look like he was forcing anything.
Perfect
He was.
posture.
Yes, he as far as a just all around fantastic horn player. You know, I mean, we got great polka horn players like say Lenny, you know, or Kevin
Oh,
Adams,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Yep.
But for an all around guy that just clean tone and technique and things like that.
Yeah,
oh,
here,
I
here.
learned so much. Best thing I like when I first joined the Versatones, I'm kind of like, you know, you're kind of getting to the bottom barrel that you're using me now or whatever. And Jimmy said, don't you
Oh,
ever.
no.
I remember to this day, he said, don't you ever say that ever to me again. You're a versatone. You always be a versatone, and that's the way it is. You know, you're not like a whatever, you know, type of 60% or whatever. And he was just that. To this day, I remember that conversation.
He was a class act.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I've even reached out in the past to Weasel, Eddie Walensky, to try to get him on because talk
Yeah.
about stories. Oh, good gosh.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
we
playing
can-
with the new brass and playing with the Versatones. And I think he started out with Pillar, didn't he?
Yes.
As a matter of fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And,
I gotta make sure that I reach out to him again at some point.
I don't know. Have you ever interviewed Chet Kawakowski?
You
Of course
know,
he-
you know what? I have talked to Chet numerous times on the telephone, and I am seriously contemplating doing that sometime this summer. I don't know if he's going to be out at the IPA or not. You know, he made it to Buffalo a couple of times.
Yes.
And he doesn't like to
no,
fly. He's got to
No, and
he's
he-
got to drive,
he's-
ride
he's
with
having
somebody.
a hard time. He has a hard time getting around, so I don't know for sure. But you want to? There's Kevin Adams is a great storyteller. I mean, I listen to these stories from these Earthstone guys
Yeah.
like Chet or Kevin. Oh my God, it's just.
Oh, Kevin Adams was on early on because we started these interviews, gosh, back in 2020 during
That's what Sarah and
COVID.
I were trying to figure out how long you've had it going.
2020, and my first
Yeah.
interview was in October, I believe, with, are you ready for this? Joe Oberitis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw him last October.
Oh, did you
He's
really?
Oh, yeah, because he, I forgot what group he plays with down here once in a while. But I played in Oktoberfest for Ray, so we had a separate group. And then Joe and his group came right afterwards. But
Yeah.
he is still a great player, very tough getting around. He physically, it's very tough for him to
Yeah.
get around.
Yeah.
It's a shame, and unfortunately, we'll all kind of get there at one point. in
Oh,
time or
sure.
another, but, yeah.
Sure we are. That's
Yeah.
that's a given. You know, we're not going backwards and getting younger. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun with all these bands, and you've lived through it. But besides the music and what people get to see on stage, I always love talking to other musicians,
yeah.
or even talking. You know, like you talk about the Rios are listening or John's listening and all that. It's fun talking to these people and meeting these people. You know, it just that's part of the pleasure of it.
Yeah, here. Hey, cruises or big festivals or any tours out of the country. Can you share anything like that with us? And this may not have even been a playing job.
I got to do the Verstones a couple, both in Mexico and their Hawaiian. It was where we were on a ship, a cruise, but it just did the islands.
Okay.
That was a fantastic trip, so I enjoyed that. My dad, I got to do a couple European trips. He ran. That was very interesting. Loved Austria. switch, and sometimes you end up where you're in areas and you kind of know it's all tourist area. You're
Yeah.
kind of stuck there. Austria I did love because we were out in the countryside, wherever, some place, bed and breakfast or whatever. That was great.
Yeah.
But it was fun playing. Not so fun. My dad took it, he took all our music along and everything. So you're on this charter bus and all that, and you can't get, like, we played Oktoberfest for one part, and it's like all of a sudden for blocks you're carrying all this equipment because
yeah.
you can't get close or whatever. So I remember that, and I remember because we had an original gentleman along that owned a ballroom in Sauk City, Wisconsin, and he was originally from Germany. So we get to Oktoberfest, and we all get our beer, and Herman, actually that was his name, Herman Ziegler, started really yelling at the servers because he said, "You're trying to screw us over. We're only getting like 2/3 a mug here of beer or stein of beer or whatever." So they went and they refilled it up, but he said, "This isn't the way. You're treating us like tourists, and I know how it should be better." And I remember that. That was a funny moment.
Wow.
Because he just is this old German guy tearing into him.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah. So the Hawaiian was we just loved that because then a couple of days, like, the ship would just stay. So then, like, Cheryl and I would go rent a car, like on Maui and all that, because we stayed overnight. So then we'd run around for a day, come back to the ship, stay, and then the next day head out again. And that was a great trip. Mexico was a fun trip. That was all inclusive, and those are good times. You eat too much, you drink too much, but it was fun.
Sure, exactly. Hey, I can't believe it's after 6 already, but I have 2 more questions for you, 2 biggies, and I know that you've traveled a great deal in your life. Do you have a favorite breakdown story that you can share with us, at least one? Here we go. I can tell by the laughter and the...
Well, especially with the versatile.
Okay, yep. I'm ready. The mic is open, and we can go as long as you want.
And I think this is it would have been, let's see, 2005 or 2006. I had just started with him. I'm trying to remember, probably 2006, because it was winter time. It was either January, February, whatever. So we got this Florida trip coming up. And I think it was on the way home. I don't remember it was on the way down.
Okay.
But we were having all kinds of problems as far as, power, and we couldn't run the heat, and the lights were getting dimmer. The wipers were broken. You should get Junior on here sometime. Just ask him about bus stories.
You know what? Yeah, that would be a great thing, because Junior was one of the interviews, I want to say maybe last year, a year before. And then Tony was on check too. But yeah, you're right. That would just bus stories alone.
Oh, yeah. And we had, I know one time we had a hard time at Springs getting the bus up there. I forgot what was wrong with it at that time.
Oh, wow.
I remember we stopped at, I know we always stopped at this liquor store at the bottom of the hill there. And then there was Chicken Shack, so you could eat there too. I used to always kid the news about that. We used to kid about the chicken shaft down at the bottom of the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had our time getting that bus up there.
Oh,
I remember
boy.
that. But I remember that trip where, it was so, because Florida wasn't bad, but then when we're going back, and all of a sudden you're back in Indiana and Illinois and, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's, whatever, it's cold, and then you hardly have any headlights, and
Oh,
that
geez.
kind of situation. So, yeah.
You know who would have been a great guy to ask about that? Fred Hootie. Boy, and,
Yes.
he was a great guy to stand and talk to. But he
Oh,
was
that was
driving.
my
He was
roommate.
driving for Eddie for a while, right?
Oh, quite a while. For most of the time I was with Eddie. He was the driver, and he was also my roomie. That was
Oh,
that
is
was
that
my
right?
roommate. Yeah, on the road.
What a
Yeah,
great
and then
guy.
later on, Lenny Kupka. And there's another man.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
man.
he's gone. But
Yeah.
like I said, it was so interesting. Besides what I lived through, to listen to these guys talk about stories, and sometimes they get hyped up and all that. But Lenny with the Push, or some of the bands he played with and all that,
yeah.
and he was a character anyway. So, and then he was my roomie. So it was definitely interesting times.
Yeah. Here. And in closing, how about this? Let me ask you, if somebody wanted to get into music, any kind of genre whatsoever, either they wanted to be a musician, a front man, a side man, or lady, what advice would Steve Rodgers give to that individual today?
Are they already playing? Do they know an instrument?
No,
that would be
they
my first thing.
Okay, all right, okay, I see what you're
Well, and what I would suggest, I still do to this day, no matter what you pick, drums, trumpet, whatever, clarinet, whatever. I would always recommend. I am so glad I started out on piano, because it made me learn both treble and bass clef. You got to use, work both hands. And when you're doing a piano piece, at least, it's not like when I play trumpet, all you're hearing is either the lead or the harmony or whatever.
Yeah.
That I would recommend as a basis to getting going. Always try to be level-headed. Remember where you came from. Because the people that I enjoyed the most and have been the most successful are also people that aren't like, jerks or arrogant. Or, I mean, there's always, no matter if it's music or this band or that band, but like your Hank from Polka Family or Gus, or when I worked, helped them out a couple of different times. Lenny, whatever. JR treated me really excellent. I mean, these guys, it was so nice that there wasn't any arrogance. And these guys, top of the game, whether it be polka or any other situation, they could be. And it's so nice that they weren't.
Sure. And down-to-earth people, very easy to talk to. It's like you're talking to a family member or somebody. Literally, there were times that I just met certain musicians, and it was like you'd talk to them for 5 minutes, and it was like you knew them for years or decades even.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that you got to remember. And like we talked earlier, there are going to be, I remember my dad's band, because I was a lot younger and a lot more cocky back then. I'd sit there, oh God, we got to play that song again, and it just, you got to remember, you're still dealing, there's a public out there. And like, if you got to play Zosha, or you got to play, My Mary Lou, or whatever,
sure.
Over and over and over. I mean, that's what they're there for.
Yes. I agree. Hey, Steve, I got to thank you so much for taking the time out of your Sunday afternoon. Please apologize to Cheryl for me.
Oh, no, we're just actually, I'm not going to rub it in, but I'm sitting out on my lanai right now. Just looking at the sun, starting to go down a little bit. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're breaking...
it's really tough, Robin.
Oh, you're breaking up, Steve. I can't hear you. I'm sorry. You're starting to lose the connection. It must be your cell phone.
Yeah, right.
No, hey, again, thank you so very, very much. I love you, buddy. Continued success with whatever you're doing, because it's working.
Thank you.
And again, thank you so much for spending the afternoon with me here on Polkas After Dark. Fantastic musician, fantastic friend. And I will never forget this. We also like to mention this at the end of our broadcasts. These broadcasts are available on YouTube forever and a day. So if somebody wants to get a chance to listen, or they tuned in late or midstream, make sure you go back, check it out, youtube.com, Polkas After Dark, and just type in the person's name, Steve Rodgers interview. Or you can just type in the word interview when you're on the Polkas After Dark site, and it'll show you all the different interviews that we have had. And there are quite a few more that we haven't moved over yet from our broadcastlink.com, which were some of the early ones that I had mentioned. But Steve, thank you ever so much. Hey, give me a quick prelude to Cat and Dog Polka with Rodgers and Friends, because that's a song that's coming up next.
Okay, this was an old Dutchman-style polka, and my dad had an arrangement for it. I always liked the tune for whatever reason, and so when we did recording for Polka Showbeam, we came up with an arrangement on it. Really changed it around to what our style or what we wanted to do with it. Mm-hmm. And I just had it as a filler just because I liked this old Dutchman song. It was just an instrumental filler for this album, right? So we released that album, and all of a sudden, back then, you sent them to like DJs, and it was the actual vinyl and things. And I'm starting to get these letters, and they got like cat prints on them and paw prints on them and stuff like that. And the DJs are telling me that people keep requesting the song, because they're pet lovers or whatever, and they're sending these.
Priceless.
And the DJs would forward it on. So, and you know how this goes, just by a fluke. I mean, I might have thought another song on that album was just going to be terrific and do well for us, and here it ends up being a Old Dutchman song that we converted to Polish and kind of put that our style. And then when we started mixing it, our engineer still had it on there, where whatever take it was or something like that. And a couple guys in bed said, let's just leave it on there for the hell of it. Let's just leave it on. So even people used to comment on that. That's kind of cool. You got the beginning on that song.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So that's kind of, it was one of our most popular songs, just whatever, however you want to explain it.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. Well, here's Cat and Dog. Here is Rodgers and Friends.
Cat and Dog Polka, cut 3, take 1.
Hey, that's one by Rodgers and Friends featuring Mr. Steve Rodgers. Hey, and we got to thank him ever so much once more for taking the time to spend some time with us here on Polkas After Dark for the interview. What a great man he is. What a great fun time. And this is going to be one for the books, that's for sure, guys and gals. Hey, you're tuned to Polkas After Dark. We're going to say hello to some more people that have chimed in, but I was unable to address them. Looks like Don Zastavna Romanzo, as I mentioned earlier. Let's see, who else is here? Marlene and Tim Rohal. They say good evening. Sue Howard is here with us, Sue and Tim. Also looks like Mr. Ken Nowalski. Ken is here with us. Of course, Vince and Marie Sosnowski, they're always here. Sophie, Irene, good afternoon, good evening to you, kiddo. And we're going to try to get Mr. Cheaplik on the phone in just a little bit. Hey, also hi to John and Marge Subcheck down in Florida. They forgot to ask if they're kind of neighbors or something, because those communities are just fantastic. And also Stan Wilgocki is here. Let's see, Dolores Sendra Gorkowski, good evening to you. Adeline Verbleski is here. Chris Ebel, looks like Janet Cudney. Barb Wozniak from PA. Tyler Jansen, we did mention him. Also Frank Murkowski. Frank and Joyce, hello to you guys. Once again, hello to Jim Miller. And let's see, who else? Karen Hootie was on. Okay, so we're going to say hi to you, Karen. Also to Kim Rozak. Gosh, Kenny Michalski, Kenny and Carol. We were so devastated to hear of the passing of a gentleman, a musician friend, Mr. Jankowski, Kenny, who was a fantastic drummer, played with Big Steve and the Bel Airs, also played with a whole bunch of bands. Eddie, I want to say Eddie, not Eddie Walensky. The name slips me, the guy from Buffalo here. But again, we thank you guys so much. And I'm going to try now. Also, Susan Matashevich is here. Art and Linda Gaylor. Gosh, we've got a whole ton of folks. Jeff and Gail Franzek, good evening to you. Jen Tucker, your husband did a fantastic job yesterday co-hosting with me, so thank you so much. And Gail Wojtovich, Marcia, and Paul Figleski. Gosh, we've got a whole bunch of folks here, and we thank you guys ever so much for popping polkas on the internet here. We're going to go ahead and try to get a hold of John in just a couple of seconds, but here's a tune by Alvin Stuchinsky. Here's one called Sunshine.
I wish I had never met Sunshine, and Sunshine had never met me. For many long years I'll regret it, 'cause I'm broken hearted, you see. Now Sunshine, she said that she loved me, and honest and true she would be. I wish I had never met Sunshine, and Sunshine had never met me. I wish I had never met Sunshine, and Sunshine had never met me. And one day I bought her a diamond with clothes that were fancy and free. Before I had made my first payment, my Sunshine, she walked out on me. I wish I had never met Sunshine, and Sunshine had never met me. Now I'm left alone with my memory and bills that she left just for me. I wish I had never met Sunshine, and Sunshine had never met me. She borrowed my love and affection, for there was another, you see. I wish I had never met Sunshine, and Sunshine had never met me.
Hey, that's another tune by Dick Rodgers and the band, and we want to say hello to everybody in our chat rooms. We thank you guys ever so much for putting us on, as you usually do on the weekends, and we're just trying to get a hold of Mr. John Seplick, and I think we're going to get him here in just about another, less than 60 seconds or a minute, so why don't you guys definitely hang tight with us, and we're going to play another song right now. How about a song called, let's see here, how about Hold Me in Your Arms Again? Here is the CD version of New Phase. That was the pre-release of Hold Me in Your Arms Again. That is New Phase. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do something that we have never, ever done before. We are going live and direct to Poland. And right now we have Mr. John Seplick on the telephone with us. John, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, John.
All right, you have John Seplick and Stasio Wilgocki right here from Wrocław, Poland.
Wow, how is the
and
how's
it's
the trip
about
been?
it's The trip's been great, and it's about like midnight here, Stanley?
12:30.
12:30. It's 12:30 in the morning on Monday morning here in Wrocław, and we're having a ball, kid. We're watching your show. Great interview with Steve Rodgers. Really nice, and I don't know about anyone else. I watch your show as often as I can. I know Stashu does, right?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. I do the same. And Robin, we brought your show live to the bar here at the Wyndham Hotel in Wrocław, just off the square. We had a young bartender. His name was Antush. He's been listening in with us, and thank God, because he didn't want to serve us anymore, but he said, "You guys know Robin Pegg? I'm going to take care of you."
Oh, that's beautiful. Hey, well, Stan, I didn't know that you were going to be on. I got John's smiling face here on a screen live from Poland. Otherwise, Stan, I would have brought you on there too, grabbed an image. But hey, so tell me a little bit about the trip. When did you guys get there?
Go ahead.
So we flew out of Boston, Logan, on Wednesday. Okay. We arrived obviously in Warszawa or Warsaw on Thursday, and it's a great trip that was sponsored by Eddie Foreman and Carol Foreman, and hosted by John Gura and Chopin Tours.
Wanda Grejek.
Wanda Grejek. And listen, if you've never been to Poland or to Central Europe, Eddie Foreman and Carol Foreman have been amazing tour guides. But Yashu Gura is just amazing, Robin, because we've only been here. Today is Monday for us.
Really, 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days, and the things we've seen and done and learned with Yashu Gura in Warszawa. And now we just arrived in Wrocław. It is just amazing. And if you're going to take a trip, you got to do it with Yashu Gura.
Yeah, for sure. And don't forget, you got Kevin Kurgel's here with us. So you got three IGs from PNCR here in Poland. So we got Kevin Kurgel, myself, and Stasio Wilgocki, and
Veronica Prytko.
And Veronica Prytko, the dancing queen.
Veronica
premiered their new show. So so
Veronica's new on there. That's
good
great
stuff, Robin.
Really, really great.
So
Hey,
we got. Go ahead.
I understand that you have the Kravich girls with you. Let's see who else came on board. You guys have a lot of folks on that trip.
We do. We have a lot of young folk. We got Tyler Wysowski, the Kravich girls. We got Zach Pietkowski,
Tomek
Gura. We've got the Reels, Mike and Darlene Reel with Mikey Reels here.
Bobby Frederick,
Bobby and Mary Lee from my band.
Kevin and Maureen
Kurgel, yeah.
Obviously, Franny, Carol Foreman's
sister is here. And
Juskin.
The Chunases are here. Tom and Krisha Chunas with Tatiana.
And it's just...
Yeah, I tell you what, listen, we were here in 2017, was my last time here, and I got to tell you, this crew is quite the crew. I tell you, right, we have a very nice lady, Sharon Vijik. When I played with Lenny in Arizona this past year, she signed up immediately. So we have such a great crew, and I'm gonna just reiterate, if you're going to come to Poland on a European trip or any trip, John Gura is the guy to go with. He knows all the people. He knows he knows about 3 or 4 or 5 languages. It's just a great trip, Robin. And when I got to the bar, I turned on Facebook, and I saw you on Facebook, and I know you're on YouTube now, and I'm like, let's find out if Robin will have us on.
Absolutely, John. I am a big supporter of Polish Newcastle Radio with Stan, with yourself. By the way, I was able to steal a picture of Stan and incorporate it on the screen right now. So when you guys are able when you guys are able to, you'll see that.
Hey, Robin, I have to say that because that's in the motherland language.
That is correct. We got to talk Polish.
Yeah.
No, understandable. But I'm Jerry and I try to watch you guys as often as we can. Of course, Rob Mazer, also Brian, everybody. We try to catch Linda, Kevin, anybody that's on. We really, really appreciate everything that you guys do for polka music on the internet.
What I got, And let me say, Robin, we really appreciate you. You know, we do the same. We watch your show,
Right.
And it's really nice to have another guy like you that's running to keep polka music going. It's really nice to have other guys listen to each other's shows. And I got to tell you got a great show. And
well,
I don't know, for myself and Stasha, we love you guys listening to our show.
Absolutely.
It's the best. It's the best, and we love you guys. We really do.
And Robin, what you do is so important. I mean, we have shows on another network. We listen to you. You listen to us, and it's all about keeping the music alive.
Oh,
that
sure.
is correct.
And with the trip we're doing today, it's all about keeping our heritage alive because we're first or second. You, me, Johnny. We're first or second Polish Americans, and we appreciate it. But as the younger culture comes up, to realize, what our grandparents or parents really experienced to be here in Poland and then come to America to fend for their family and have the dream to expand that, you shouldn't forget your Polish heritage. And
That's
if
right.
you're like,
That's right.
Listen, Johnny Siplik is, I think, 32, and I'm a little older than him. And my
32.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking?
My knees are killing me, Robin, because some of the walking we do here is on cobblestone street.
A lot of
is that
cobblestone
right?
street.
A lot of cobblestone, Robin.
Folks,
Oh,
I'm not
geez.
32, but I can tell you that.
To be here in these cities and experience, especially like we were just in Warszawa, and see what the Polish people experience. Don't wait. If you're a Polish American, get off your dupa, come out and find where your heritage is.
I'll tell you right
a
now,
great country.
there's nothing like Poland. I'm telling you, Poland is a great country. It's
Wow.
such a great place to visit, and all the history and the architecture. It's just a great thing. And Robin, we really appreciate you having us on tonight.
Absolutely.
Really do.
Hey,
Thank you,
folks,
Robin.
we are talking live
And
with
Jerry,
John
too. She's not there, but thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry just sent me a message on Facebook. She says she is just going to be heading out of the airport shortly, and then she'll be picked up over at the Buffalo airport when she gets in shortly, a little after midnight or so. Maybe she'll get in a little earlier, but I got to tell you guys, we are live right here talking with John Cieplik and Stan Wogacki from the Polish Newcastle Radio, live from Poland. And they're just telling us a little bit about their experience that they've had there. Also with John Gora, they say, hey, if you folks are thinking about going to Poland, John Gora is the guy to get a hold of. And I know he's got a few more trips planned, doesn't he, before the end of the year?
Yeah, he does. So he does like 3 or 4 trips. I know he's got a trip coming towards Christmas time. He's going to do the Polish markets of Christmas. And then last year he did a trip to Portugal. He does a bunch of trips. So if you want to get a hold of John Gora, I'm sure it's Gorali.com or JohnGora.com.
JohnGora.com. Travel with John. Click on the link.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And Robin, we really appreciate. I know you want to get back to some more music. You don't have to spend the whole night with us, but we're happy you could just give us a couple of minutes, and we really appreciate you having us on, brother.
Hey,
thanks,
guys,
Robin.
Yeah, we thank you so much. God bless you. And that was live from Poland, Mr. John Cieplik and Stan Wogacki, 2 of the favorites over there at Polish Newcastle Radio. But you guys got to get a chance on the weekends to get them on the internet. Polish Newcastle Radio, just do a search for it, and you'll be able to bring them up and catch any one of their many, many shows that are, a lot of them are live, which is nice. I think you only have a few that are pre-recorded, but a lot of those shows are live. So if you do get the opportunity, please, by all means, go ahead and check that out. Right now, something else you need to be checking out is the IPA Festival and Convention.
Make your plans now to join the International Polka Association on Labor Day weekend, September 1st through the 3rd for the 55th Annual IPA Festival and Convention. The festival returns to the Doubletree by Hilton Hotel, Pittsburgh Cranberry for 3 fun-filled days of polka entertainment. You'll be entertained with music by Lenny Gomulka and the Chicago Push, The Beat, John Goda and Gorale, the Polka Country Musicians, Klanick and Friends, the Polka Family, the IPA Tribute Band, Old School, the New Brass Express, the Garrett Titano Band, Tony Blazonczyk's New Phase, Focus, Dennis Plisky and the Maestros Men, and the Cosmics Band. There will be a pre-festival welcome party on Thursday with Alex Meixner, a Friday morning golf outing presented by Jeff Yash, the 54th Hall of Fame and Music Awards banquet, pool parties, a polka mass on Sunday, the election of officers and directors, plus much, much more. For room reservations, go to www.ipapolkas.com/go/2023 IPA Festival. If you prefer to call to make your reservation, you can do so by calling the hotel directly at 724-776-6900 and be sure to mention the IPA attendee block for our special room rate. All rooms and rates are subject to availability at the time of reservation. For all the latest information regarding the festival, please visit our website, www.ipapolkas.com. It's going to be a fun-filled, fantastic weekend you don't want to miss. We hope to see you there.
And you guys will see us there, Jerry and I. We are going to be attending the IPA, also the USPA, which is coming up at the end of the month. Hey, you know, these guys were talking about John Gura and everything that he does. He's got his hand in a lot of different things, and everything that John touches, I got to say this from the heart, it turns to gold. And from what these two guys were saying, Stan and John, this trip was just remarkable. So we definitely want to make sure that you guys go to johngora.com. That's JOHNGORA.com and get some information on some trips that he is running. Poland is now one of the greatest places that you can visit. And you know what? Here's a great and beautiful band. Here's one, John Gora and Gorale, a little bit of Love's Gonna Live Here. Hey folks, thanks for tuning us in here to Polkas After Dark. It's 6:38 p.m. on the East Coast. I think those guys said it's probably about 12:38 in the a.m. Monday morning where they're at, having a good time.
Oh, the sun's gonna shine in my life once more. Love's gonna live here again. Things are gonna be that they were before. Love's gonna live here again. Everybody now. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here. Love's gonna live here again. No more loneliness, only happiness. Love's gonna live here again.
Hey, that's JG from Canada, but right now he's making his home for the next couple of days in Poland. Hey, you know, we also want to make mention of another birthday that I'm just now looking on the YouTube site. Sorry, folks. Hey, we also want to make mention that Sharon Golden is celebrating her birthday. So happy birthday to you, Sharon Golden. Many, many more Stolad, as we say. Hey, also, it looks like Rob Mazer said good afternoon, good evening. He has made it home from Albany, so that is great too. Thank you guys ever so much for tuning us in. Ricky Crew, and also Susie, we're going to say hello to you kids. Thank you so much for popping us in here on Polkas After Dark, where we have a lot of fun on the weekend. Saturday nights, we're going to be here next week Saturday, also next week Sunday, so you don't want to forget about that. And let me bring up the interview dates, because I also want to make mention of who's going to be joining us next week, and that none other is Mr. Donnie Tomko from the Magitones, also Limelight, and let's see here, The Beat 2.0. He's going to be joining us for a quick interview because it's Mother's Day next week, Sunday, so make sure that you remember Mom. And if Mom is not around, you also have to remember her up there in heaven. Send prayers, because she's still looking down upon you, making sure that your life is going as good as it can be. Hey, we're going to say hello to Chris Tansky, the Buffalo Polka Booster president. She's here. And also, it looks like the Chipchak Merwins are here, so good evening to you guys. Jen Pianowski, also Jeff and Gail Franzek, they have returned. Michelle Lesinski is here. Hello to you and Stan. Hey, we just had a fantastic interview with Mr. Steve Rodgers, and then we got a chance to go live, very first time ever, direct from Poland. We had somebody over there in Warsaw, Poland, and we got a chance to talk to two of our many favorite IJs out there from Polish Newcastle Radio. If you get a chance, tune those guys in. John does an excellent job, and so does Stan, and all the rest of the guys and gals do as well. And I know there is a new Pritko running around PNCR, Polish Newcastle Radio, so you want to make sure that you tune her in as well. Hey, we've got, let's see here. Again, we want to thank Steve Rodgers for joining us this afternoon. Also, Donnie Tomko next week on the 21st. Finally, we were able to hook up with Mr. Nick D. Sebastiano from The Boys. He's also played with Polka Family. He's going to be joining us. And then on June the 4th, you'll see that there's a time lapse there. There's a week that we're gone because we're heading out to the USPA, the United States Polka Association Convention and Festival. But then on June the 4th, Mr. Greg T. Sakowitz joins us. And then we're going to jump ahead a little bit to August the 6th, as we have Mr. Andrew Boychek joining us from, the Big Steve Band, The News. He's currently the drummer for 7. And then we also have on August the 20th, Kelly Grahowski from the state of Michigan, fellow drummer extraordinaire. We're going to bring him on and get a chance to say hello to him as well. Hey, folks, we got a lot of things that we want to talk about, but we just don't have a whole lot of time left. We've got about 15 minutes here before we call it an afternoon or evening. And here's one of our favorite bands, The Beat 3.0. Here's a tune called Coming Home, and this one we're going to send out to Jerry Chadwick, because she is going to be boarding her plane real soon. Love you, sweetie. Have a safe flight home. Can't wait to see ya.
I'm coming home, I'm coming home, back to this town where I belong. I know I'll never see a better place I'd rather be than in your arms back home where I belong. Traveling down the road and feeling fine, looking for adventure in my mind. But all along I knew deep down how
about a little bit of Dennis Polisky and the Maestro's Men? Hey, I just got off the phone with Jerry, but she is eating right now over at the airport. Hope you enjoy your salad, honey. Have a safe trip home.
I've had nothing but sorrow since you said we were through. There's no hope for tomorrow. How's the world treating you? Every sweet thing that matters has been broken in two. All my dreams have been shattered. How's the world treating you? Got no plans for next Sunday. Got no plans for today. Every day is Blue Monday. Every day you're away. Though our pathways have parted, to your memory I'm true. Yes, I'll stay broken hearted. How's the world treating you? Do you wonder about me like I'm hoping you do? Are you lonesome without me? Have you found someone new? Are you burning and yearning? Do you ever get blue? Do you think of returning? How's the world treating you? Whoa, do you think of returning? How's the world treating you?
Hey, how about a little bit of blue magic for Sharon Golden? I understand you guys might be heading out someday soon. I don't know if that's to Poland or not. Happy birthday once again, Sharon Golden. Hey, hello to Lisa and Greg Skowronek. Hey, you guys missed an awesome interview. You can catch it on YouTube.
Your favorite music on the jukebox, and right away I know that you are here. You always pick a time just when I think my mind is clear. You reappear and once again you got me in your power. This time I hope it's not a brief romance, 'cause it's too late to run. You got me thinking one slow dance is worth a chance. And that old blue magic still works like a charm, as if you never even left these aching arms. You put a spell on me, I guess I'll always be hypnotized by that blue magic in your eyes.
Good evening to Mr. Ron Peruki. Welcome to Polkas After Dark, Lizzie Rozak, and it looks like Audrey Pelchinsky has joined us as well. Hey, hello to Mr. Larry Chaprinsky. Larry and Diane, welcome to Polkas After Dark. Hey, we're going to be here for the next 6 minutes or so. We got about enough time for one more tune.
Oh, I should run and hide from this illusion. Your smile is so much quicker than my pride. There's something up your sleeve that makes my heart believe inside. This carpet ride might lift us up and fly us to forever. But up till now it's all been sleight of hand. I've got to face the fact, one look and I'm right back again at your command. And that old blue magic still works like a charm, as if you never even left these aching arms. You put a spell on me, I guess I'll always be hypnotized by that blue magic in your eyes.
Hey, the Buffalo Polka Boosters want to remind you to save the date for the Buffalo Polka Booster 53rd Annual Summer Picnic. That's coming up July the 23rd, Sunday afternoon from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Fontana's Picnic Grove, located at 2299 Clinton Street in Buffalo. Music by Focus the entire afternoon. You don't want to miss it. Food served from 3 till 6 p.m. Enjoy your favorite beverages, too, at the 53rd Annual Summer Picnic held by the Buffalo Polka Boosters.
Save the date.
Save the date.
Save the date. Save the date. That's going to be one whale of a picnic, as it always is. Hey, guys, gals, the time has come for us to say dobranoc, good night. Have a very safe flight back wherever you are coming home from, folks, and have a safe flight to wherever your destination is going to be. And again, we thank you ever so much for putting us on, as you always do here on Polkas After Dark. Our broadcastlink.com is where you can see a lot of our information, but we don't do the broadcasts anymore there. It's now strictly on YouTube and also Facebook Live. Again, we thank you ever so much for popping in here on a Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon. We will see you, ladies and gentlemen, next week, Saturday, if in the Lord willing. God bless you. Please take care. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful week. And as Jerry and I always say, we thank you so much for putting us on. If you've been listening in your car, thanks for the ride. Here's Eddie B. Guess what song he's going to do? Visit to Poland.
Stoi nasz okręt w głębokim porcie, żegnajmy się wszyscy wraz. Śpiewaj mi piosnę z tych dawnych czasów, co się skończyły tak wciąż. Zobaczymy na Polskę, co panuje tam. Zobaczymy na kochany kraj, mój kraj. Jeszcze raz zobaczę twoim ojczyznę, którą tak bardzo kocham.
Hey, once again, a special thanks to Mr. Steve Rodgers for joining us here this evening on Polkas After Dark for a fantastic interview. And also, we want to thank Mr. John Seaplake and also Mr. Stan Wilgocki for joining us here live from Poland. What a great call.
Jest duży, ma pełno ludzi i każdy jest wesoły. Wszyscy